Most people don't realize they've undervalued someone until the consequences start showing up in ways they never expected. Not immediately. Not in the moment where they brushed you off or treated you like you were optional. It happens later, slowly, quietly, and then all at once. It starts with a memory, a comparison, an uncomfortable silence, or the sudden awareness that the person they dismissed is now living a life that no longer includes them. Stoicism teaches that regret is not created by punishment or revenge. It's created by your transformation. The transformation that happens when you stop shrinking for people who never bothered to understand your worth in the first place. Stoic thinkers believed that value isn't something you convince others of. It's something you reveal through your actions, your discipline, and your attitude. And there are certain attitudes, certain ways of carrying yourself that make people realize the gravity of what they lost. These aren't flashy gestures. They aren't loud declarations. They're quiet internal shifts that slowly change how the world responds to you. Most importantly, they change how those who took you for granted see you when they finally wake up and realize they misjudged you. The first attitude is the moment everything starts changing. You stop chasing those who gave you crumbs of effort. People get comfortable with your availability. They assume you'll always be there, always responding, always adjusting. But the day you stop chasing, the day you stop over-explaining and over-giving, something strange happens. The silence where your effort used to be becomes loud. They start replaying old conversations. They start noticing the absence of your presence. They start realizing how easy they had it with you and how hard it is now that you're gone. Your silence becomes a mirror they didn't want to look into. The second attitude is even more powerful. You create distance instead of conflict. Stoics knew that arguments rarely change people. Distance does. When someone undervalues you, fighting for their respect won't earn it, but stepping back will. Distance forces them to see what they contributed, what they neglected, and what they broke. It forces them to see their behavior without the distraction of your forgiveness or patience softening it. And the moment they see the relationship from afar is the moment regret begins, because nothing makes a person rethink their decisions like realizing you're no longer emotionally accessible. The third attitude is subtle but devastating. You upgrade your life quietly, not to impress them, not to spite them. You simply focus on becoming the version of yourself you neglected while trying to be enough for someone who couldn't recognize your value. You start growing, learning, improving, and evolving. And the transformation is not loud, it's undeniable. Human nature is predictable. People always come back to check if you're still where they left you. And when they return and see you thriving, not surviving but rising, regret hits like a wave they weren't prepared for. The fourth attitude is the Stoic backbone of regret. You stop explaining your worth. You no longer defend yourself, justify yourself, or beg to be understood. Stoicism teaches that your value is self-evident to those capable of seeing it. When you stop explaining, you remove the emotional fuel they used to control the dynamic. They can't manipulate you with confusion or guilt because you're no longer asking for approval. And once someone realizes you don't need their validation, they suddenly start wishing they hadn't withheld it so casually. The fifth attitude is what begins haunting them long term. You hold boundaries without anger. Not in a dramatic, emotional, vengeful way. No. You enforce standards with quiet certainty. You no longer tolerate disrespect disguised as jokes, almost effort, or inconsistent treatment. You no longer negotiate your dignity for temporary comfort. When boundaries are held without shouting, they hit harder. They make people confront the truth they tried to avoid. You were never the problem. Their lack of appreciation was. The sixth attitude reveals itself slowly but powerfully. You become someone they can't replace, not because of ego, but because of individuality. Stoicism teaches that character, real, grounded character, is rare. When you treat people with honesty, kindness, loyalty, and integrity, they get used to a level of emotional safety that most people can't offer. When they lose you, they look for that same energy elsewhere and fail. They meet others who lack depth, consistency, patience, or authenticity, and suddenly, everything you once did so naturally becomes unforgettable. The seventh attitude flips their entire perception upside down. You forgive them without inviting them back. This is a Stoic power move. Forgiveness removes the emotional weight from your life, but not letting them back in removes the emotional control they hoped they still had. Forgiveness confuses people who expect bitterness. It makes them rethink every moment they took your kindness for weakness. It forces them to see you as emotionally mature, grounded, and impossible to provoke. Exactly the kind of person people regret losing. The eighth attitude is the one they never saw coming. You become genuinely happy without them. Stoics taught that happiness built on inner stability is unshakable. When they see you at peace, genuinely glowing, surrounded by new opportunities, new people, new energy, they realize just how replaceable they weren't. This is the moment regret blooms into full force. They thought you'd struggle without their presence. Instead, your life expanded. You healed. You grew. You found joy again. And nothing destroys the ego more than watching someone become happier after they walked away. The ninth attitude is piercing in its precision. You choose yourself every time. It's not selfishness, it's Stoic self-respect. You choose your emotional health over chaos. You choose your growth over their inconsistency. You choose your peace over their drama. And when someone sees that they no longer have the power to pull you into their confusion, regret settles into their bones, because they didn't just lose you, they lost the version of you that once gave them chance after chance. And the 10th attitude is the final nail in the coffin of their regret. You build a future they don't have access to. A future grounded in stability, purpose, fulfillment, and elevated standards. A future with people who appreciate your presence without needing to be taught how. A future that makes your past look like the training ground for your strength. When someone realizes they were part of the chapter you outgrew, not the story you're stepping into, regret transforms from a momentary emotion into a permanent realization. They didn't just lose you, they lost the privilege of growing beside you. And that is a loss they feel every time they see a glimpse of the life you built beyond their reach.